how to negotiate the best real estate offer. Sometimes you think life is on fire. Well, it is. And now we're going to show you how to do this today. But first, I want to just tell you, hey guys, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm Ken Van Liew, best-selling author of The Modern Wealth Building Formula. And what I appreciate is you. The comments, the likes, the feedback you've been giving me. I'm so glad you like this. So if you like what you're hearing, I'm giving daily content on YouTube. Please subscribe and check me out on social media. Let's check out how to get into the best offer in real estate today. We're going to now go through the 8 steps on how you negotiate the best offer. Now, just remember that the asking price is not the offer that you're going to get. Today, we're going to look at the 8 steps so that you can come up with the offer that you want to give to that seller and get the best deal that you can get. So let's look at what the price is, which is just the asking price, because that's not going to be the offer. And let's take a look at that. So most of the time you get a price. Now in today's market, what's happening with the prices? Pricing is being offered at 30% above asking price. Why? Because there's a workability change throughout America. People aren't going to work every day. They're working out of their house. People are having bidding wars. So you can't panic initially on the asking price. You have to look at a bunch of items. So we have the asking price first, but we don't know what the offer is. So we're going to leave this blank as we start to look at the different components. So in a lot of cases, when you're going to buy property, what are we trying to do? We're trying to raise money. We're trying to figure out if it's a good deal. We're doing due diligence. There's a lot of moving parts happening at once, but we really want to find out if it's a good deal. How do you find out if it's a good deal? It takes time. What do you do with time? You have to do due diligence. Due diligence is turning over all those stones, checking the numbers, checking the area, checking the market, checking the negatives that could happen to that property. That's what you're looking at. So you're actually negotiating time to close. You want to get as much time as possible. I usually go for 120 days sometimes I start with due diligence. It's harder in acquisition in today's market. They're making offers, no inspection, no closing costs. They'll pay for the closing costs. They'll give incentives. Buyers are giving these incentives. This is something we've never seen before, but that doesn't mean that we don't stick to the foundational principles about trying to get the most time that you need, right? So in a lot of cases, you're going to need, 30 days just to get the closing documents ready. To do the due diligence, a lot of time with COVID, everything's slow up. You got to go down to City Hall. You got to meet with people. It takes time. I always recommend start your conversation at 90 days due diligence, right? You need due diligence. You need time to close. You need to raise equity. You need to get financing. There's a lot of things going on. So this is an important aspect in your negotiation, which is going to relate to your offer. If you have more time, I've actually offered more money when I have more time. So there's a lot of negotiation room between time to close and due diligence. Now, contingencies is key, especially in the real estate development world. You want to get contingent upon approval if you can, not just DEP approval, not just zoning approval, not just planning board approval. I like to get the building permit approved. Now, that's a tall order in a lot of cases, so you got to have a mutual win-win situation with people. So sometimes that seller, you got to pay him a little bit extra in order to get the contingencies you want. But contingencies are key. Contingencies allow you to get out of a deal if it doesn't meet the contingency. The contingency can mean a lease with an option to buy. A contingency can be if there's a phase 1 environmental problem that you can cancel the deal. The contingencies allow you to walk away from the deal at any time because you never want to get stuck with making an offer that doesn't correlate to what the market price should be. So there's a lot of things that we want to look at, and these are the 8 steps. So now, number 5, the building inspection. Why do I have this here? I have been able to negotiate really good prices after I've done the building inspection. Why? Because when you do a building inspection, you're looking at what? The conditions of the property, the condition, the condition of the property. That can include, your roof. It can include the electric, the plumbing. There's a lot of components in the building inspection that you want to look at. Now, what's happening with the building inspection is that you're determining what the costs are for that work to improve. Once you start to look at the improvement cost, and you could say, wow, they're a lot more excessive than I thought they would be. And that price that they're asking is ridiculous because I'm going to have to spend $10,000 in improvement costs. That's where you have to go with this, because the improvement costs that are derived from the building inspection, which you have to do on all your properties, highly recommended, is going to enable you to negotiate the price. If someone's asking $100,000 and you have to change the roof and change the siding and change the windows, you're talking $20,000, $30,000 right out of the box. We bought a property in North Carolina last year. It was a 6-unit brick building, great condition, but there was no air conditioning and the windows leaked like a sieve. So before I was going to put air conditioning in, I said to myself, I really need to replace the windows, because if not, I'm going to be cooling the outside of North Carolina and my electric bill is going to be ridiculous. So what did I do? I changed the windows. I changed the roof. That cost me $20,000, but I incorporated it into the price so that I knew that when I bought it at $122,000 and I was going to be at $142,000, that the revenue coming in from that property still covered the expenses, which gave you the rate of return that met your criteria for that specific investment. Now, I think you're getting the point, right? If you know that you're going to have to go out and do capital expenditure right off the bat, that should come off of the asking price. And that's why I'm showing you this. Now, seller financing is key. We just did this week on a property in Little Egg Harbor. Major development deal, 28 acres, was on the market for $2.1 million. We got it for $750,000. Could not believe it. I said to myself, all they can say is no. Should I ask? Should I ask? I was thinking about this for a couple of days. I'm like, why not? I go ahead, I ask, would you be interested in holding some financing? He was willing to hold $500,000 for 5 years. I'm going to buy a property that was listed for $2.1 million for $750,000 with owner financing of $500,000. You can't beat that. This is all part of how to negotiate the best offer in real estate. So now that you've gone through all of these things, you sit down nice and calm at the table. You start going through all of these items. Now, a lot of times they're not going to want to hear you. They're not going to want to hear what you got to say. But if you don't do what I did and just ask, you'll never find out the answer. So of course you have to go through these things. Of course you have to go through these things because you want the best price. How do you make your profit in real estate? You make your profit in the buy. That's why it's so important that you understand the tactics for negotiating your best real estate price. We also have analyzing tools that show you, based on the profitability that you want on a specific real estate investment, it will actually give you an offer range. So there's a lot of things that we would like to suggest after you go through this. So you go through price so that you can make your offer. Now, with all this said, I always just have a rule of thumb. You're going to want to always offer 10% at least below the offer price. You always want to start maybe even a lot less. I'll give you an example. I'll even scratch that, but that's in an acquisition, because I'll give you an example on a foreclosure that we bought that was a $6 million foreclosure. I offered $2 million and we settled at 2.8. I'm just giving you a little idea. That was a 25-cent on a dollar offer that was accepted. Can you believe that? That's right. Ask and you shall receive. I'm not kidding. So today I want to just tell you that these are the 8 steps, but you could throw some other things out there. You could throw the kitchen sink in the negotiation. All kidding aside, you want to negotiate the best offer out there and negotiate from there using the tools that we just identified. Now, I just want to thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed this information. And if you like what you see, remember, we're doing daily content on YouTube. And please subscribe to my TikTok channel and Instagram, and make it a great day.